John, this is the amazing story of a young woman who created a design that would go on to inspire Poles. Welcome to
What's Up Poland?
the daily video show
Where
we talk about
news,
views,
culture,
history,
life.
everything Poland. Throughout the course of the Second World War and today, I'm talking about the famous kotwica, this symbol which you know is constructed of a P and a W, which was daubed on the side of walls and on posters and things during the Second World War in Warsaw and then around Poland and has gone on today. Now, that's a sign you're probably familiar with because, of course, you have family history. Some of your near family relations took part, and I don't know if any of them were involved in diversionary work at all, but may well have ended up painting this symbol.
They certainly weren't painting them, but they were wearing them, and they obviously knew the symbol. The kotwica, for our viewers, means anchor because
Yes.
it looks like an anchor, and it was also adopted by the Parasol regiment in the
Yes.
Home Army as their symbol. And of course, I'm very proud to have a granny who was actually in the Parasol regiment of the Home Army.
You have to hear John's story, or John's granny story, because it's amazing.
It is pretty cool. But yeah, of course, I mean, the symbol has actually become, a part of almost everyday life now here in Poland.
You see it on the streets. So I remember coming to Warsaw and seeing that sign and thinking, what's all that about? And you get to hear it. But I have to admit, I didn't know too much about this young lady as the subject of the story, which you can read if you click on the link below. Ania Smolińska. She was born 100 years to the day on the 27th of February, so just recently. But her life was cut tragically short because, like many Poles, unfortunately, at a very young age, she was arrested by the Gestapo and sent to Auschwitz, where she died along with the rest of her family. But she has a legacy because this kotwica, this fighting Poland symbol, remained and it was in use. It was chosen actually, and the story is really interesting. It was chosen because there was a little bit of a competition. Basically, they needed some kind of a symbol, and originally, and I didn't know this, it was actually designed to say "Pomścimy Wawę." We will avenge Wawę, which is this pretty horrible massacre at the start of the Second World War in 1939.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people know that actually, as Germany invaded Poland, straight away from the 1st of September, they were massacring civilians, on an industrial scale, hundreds of massacres a week. And indeed, she created this symbol with these words. And what I found fascinating was that actually P and W together, which make this anchor, they can mean both Pomścimy Wawę, which is we will avenge Wawę, we will get revenge.
Yeah.
Also Polska Walcząca, which is how the symbol is
Fighting Poland,
which is fighting Poland, but as well as Powstanie Warszawskie, which is PW, which is Warsaw Uprising, and Wojsko Polskie, which is the Polish army. So it's this amazingly, I'd say, functional symbol in many respects.
Absolutely.
What feeling does it evoke in you, John, when you see it in the streets, when you see it used in ceremonies and that kind of thing?
Well, obviously, like if it's used properly, so like during kind of, let's say, ceremonial solemnities and when there are kind of proper, organized gatherings which commemorate the people who fought in the Warsaw Uprising, then yeah, I have absolutely no problem with it. I do see, I don't like the fact that the symbol is so widespread, though. I mean, like, I don't like seeing it on T-shirts or like on kind of branded clothing or stuff like that. I don't. It just kind of riles me. But like, but then again, it's a symbol which has become, let's say, I don't know, a kind of patriotic symbol as well. Which has been kind of taken over by people which I might not want to have had it taken over by, but
former Warsaw Uprising participants, combatants, a lady actually, and she said exactly the same thing. She said, "Look, listen, we fought with that. That symbol meant a lot to us."
Absolutely. And I'm just saying absolutely for Philip, our video editor, who thinks that I say it a lot.
You do say it absolutely very often. And she said, like, this is disrespectful to be wearing this on a shirt. But I've also spoken to other former Warsaw Uprising soldiers who said it's great that young people are celebrating this, keeping this alive, because even worse would be for this to die out,
to disappear. Yeah.
For example, my father-in-law, he drives a little on his car. He's got a little Warsaw Uprising, the symbol. So it's iconic, and it's all down to this young lady. And it left me wondering, John, wouldn't it be amazing if we could see all the other participants in the competition to get this symbol, because the other people did their own
kind of versions.
So we'll never quite know what other version might have been chosen. But of course, behind it all, there's this young girl who won the competition to create a symbol that inspired and united a nation. And it continues to inspire us today, whose life was tragically cut short because of
Exactly.
her brave work fighting Nazi Germany. And if you want to find out more about Ania Smolińska's tragic death and the story of her family and how they all ended up in Auschwitz and what happened to them, you can actually do that by clicking on the link below this video. It's quite an extraordinary story. I'll just finish by saying a few words from the official Polish underground. Perhaps there is a desire to show the enemy that despite everything, it has not broken our spirit. So explaining why the symbol was so important, so widely used, because it then became the official symbol of the Polish underground. Maybe the symbolism of the anchor, a sign of hope.
It's a sign of hope. Yeah, I
Yeah,
was going to say.
works on the imagination of those who paint it. There's something in that. The symbols are still on Warsaw's walls today, and I think as I take tourists around and people, and I show them the city, you know, you just point to that, and some of them are originals. You know, it's a connection with the past. It's, well, I feel a little bit,
Yeah,
I get a bit,
goosebumps.
yeah,
Yeah.
goosebumps. Yeah.